Welcome to Maker Conversations. I'm your host, Tiff Marchand from NIGHTCARVER Designs, and today on the show we have Brian from Flawless Sign Company, and he is so talented. I really wanted to have him on the show. I've been admiring his work for a while now. We've been chatting, but we haven't really got to have a good conversation to get to know each other. And truly, he was a mystery to me. And I was talking to Justin from Lebon Restorations about that, and he also had the same sentiments of me. Extremely talented, but doesn't know Brian at all. So it was our chance to sit down and get to know him, and you guys are going to love hearing it. A huge thank you to the sponsor of the show, Sabertooth Power Carving. Use NIGHTCARVER 10 to save 10% on your orders. You guys know I love Sabertooth. I work for them, and they are always willing to support me and my shows. So go show them some love and try out power carving. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. It helps you add a little bit of texture and style to just about anything that you're working on. A huge shout out to Tracy and Mac from M&T Woodworks. I usually talk to Tracy, but Mac, I see you. I see what you're doing out there, and I love it. These two are a powerhouse couple. They're making really cool art, so go check out their shop. I think you're going to love it. And if you want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/makerconversations. All right, on with the show.
What's up, Brian?
How you doing, man?
That's what you look like.
Right. And I was talking to my wife earlier. I'm like, it's probably weird that, like, because I feel like I know you guys.
Right.
And I'm like, no one's ever seen me, or like we kind of chat, but nobody knows me. So.
No, man, I crept in. You know, I crept in those DMs. I was asking you all the questions.
And good.
I have too. No, me too, dude. That's how I know him, is because I approached him. He didn't approach me. I was like, oh my God, look at your signs. Because first of all, someone comes out with the name Flawless Signs, you're going to go there to their page and you're going to try to find a critique, right? You're going to look for something.
I was just for the flaws.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. No, I didn't even second guess it. I was just there. Man, I was like, damn, this guy's good.
Thank you. Well, it's good to finally meet.
No, exactly. Yeah, I feel like I know you, but then like, it's weird because I'm like, wait, I don't even know his name or what he looks like. Like, that's like one of those weird Instagram relationships, right? Where you bond with somebody and yet you have no idea anything else besides what they type to you.
Brian, you must be pretty comfortable doing that though, like just kind of staying below the radar a little bit.
Yeah, and it's like, I thought about it. It's, I feel like it wasn't on, like when I first started making signs, or this account actually, I didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't, like, my wife was the only person that knew me that knew about it. Because I wanted to see, like, all right, I'm going to just start something from scratch, like no plan. I didn't want that like family influence at first, you know, to kind of make, I don't know. It's just like,
you're able to make your decisions that you wanted to without having anybody judge you. Like, that's nice.
I just like, I want to be a stranger and post and see, like, does it pick up? Does it get traction? But I had no customers or plan or anything. It was just, I was in between jobs. And then from there, I felt like, I don't know, I always just wanted to show the work, you know? So I never like intentionally put myself off the camera. It was more like the focus was on the work. So that was it.
That's how Justin was too, though, for a while.
Yeah.
We kind of pulled him out of that.
Yeah, it was different though. Like, it was a different way of telling the story and like what I was trying to say. And ultimately, like, I didn't want to talk. And it was like my message was like more so just to like I was captured by a lot of the videos that I was seeing of like the creating process. So I was like, oh, I want to do that. So I try to get the whole like build thing, and I wouldn't talk. Never would talk.
Yeah.
No, it'd just be really pretty angles and showing your work.
Pretty much. And then it was Patrick over at Pine Bear, and it was like, dude, people want to hear your voice for whatever reason. Because I think I was like skirting past it. I was like low key, like, hey, it's me, but I'm not talking.
Yep.
Be honest, what Patrick really said is people want to see your face.
Yeah. Here it is.
I love your videos though, dude. I feel like your videos always have like, it just tells a story, you know? Like, it's so
Thanks,
it's just
man.
different. I don't know. It's different for sure.
Thanks, man. I definitely have a hard time like putting words together like stringing words to make a sentence or even like putting like a post together. So it is easier sometimes for me to tell a story through like just the actions, because for me, I'm a visual person myself, and man, when I tell a story, I'm half the time drawing it. Like, oh, it was like this. You had to like see it from this angle, and so it's it's changed a lot though. I think it just keeps changing because I keep meeting people who like influence me in different ways. Where I'm like, oh wow, that was a cool way of showing it and talking about it, and my way of talking about it keeps changing. So
you got to evolve, you know.
Yeah,
I never knew there was like so many people making stuff, you know. So it was like, I don't know, I guess you got to try to stand out in your own ways, you know.
Were you a different account before this one? Someone said that, and I mean, I know nothing about you, so I wouldn't know the answer.
So that's when I started. So I'm terrible at naming anything in life. So when I started my account, because my last name is Lehman, and I was kind of doing manufacturing kind of work before. And so my account was LEHMFG, which kind of like, unless you know my last name, you wouldn't know what that meant. It was like a jumble of words or letters. But that was how it started. And then I felt like things started to like get traction, you know, like, I'm not going to say I found my niche, because like I really didn't expect to be doing bulldog signs. But once it started to just like pick up, where it's like, damn, all right, I kind of can't like turn this off now. I thought about it more like I'm selling signs that are going up in people's rooms and houses, and like I wanted to protect myself, so I kind of just made it official as like LLC, a new name, and I was like, I'll just take it seriously, get a business account instead of just meshing everything together, you know, just to try to take it to that next level. But then I still feel like I think I said the website was coming a year ago and I haven't even touched it. So it's like I've been so busy with orders and picking up, you know, trying to keep up with orders, that everything else has just been backburnered. It's just been work, you know.
It's a struggle that we all know.
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
And then like working full time, you know, our typical day is 10 hours. So it's like when you're working,
what do you do?
We work a lot of weekends too. Right now I'm a prop maker in the studios, so like motion picture industry. So basically like studio construction, basically woodworking all day. We do a little bit of everything. Like if you're a prop maker, like you kind of have to be a little bit of jack of all trades. Like you should probably know how to weld, work with plastics, you know, different things.
Like silicones and molds and all that stuff too.
A little bit. Like, I guess when you think, because I always thought prop maker, you think like making a prop, but we're more like making the sets.
The structures,
so we're like, we're like the construction side of it.
So then you're in California then?
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, it's draining, you know, you go to work, you know, wake up at 4:30, put in a 10-hour day, come home. It's like, I want to spend time with my son too. I have a 3-year-old boy. So it's like, it's a tough balance, but I mean, I knew what I was getting into, so it's all good.
You've been doing that for a long time?
The studio work?
Yeah.
I'm actually new to that, and that's kind of where I guess this started. I've been in like fabrication shops. That's like maybe 12 years, 10 years. The first shop, I was doing experiential fabrication, so it's like Comic-Con, Coachella, like builds for like, you know, Netflix or whoever, like either one night parties or just custom builds, custom fab that would just literally get thrown in the trash can after. That's what kind of got me into everything. And then I moved on to a different shop where we did retail fabrication. So it was like the same thing, but like the polished side. So instead of throwing stuff in the trash after, like we were doing like, when I left, we were doing van stores. So like every single van store in the United States, we were building fixtures for. So like all the cabinetry, woodwork, metalwork, plastic work, signage, everything that makes a store we were building all of that stuff. So it was just a whole different, same thing, like, you know, carpentry, metalwork, blah, 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 but completely different atmosphere, you know?
That's nuts that you're fabricating a store from within like a little warehouse and you're just like shipping
Right.
out some parts. And like it changes too. So you always got like a different theme kind of like every season or so, or every couple of weeks, I guess things change up.
Yeah. And like
Crazy.
for the, I guess the experiential side of things, when I was doing that was like every week, or, you know, everything was always different and it was always a rush. Everything's always a rush, but it was always like, this is hot. They got a ton of money and just make it happen, you know? So that was like, it was like a cowboy shop, you know, like it was just running and gunning. I was managing that with my buddy that I had known since like second grade, best friend. So we grew that place, and then I just felt like I needed a change. I started to feel kind of, I don't know.
Like, it's got to wear you out.
I just kind of felt like complacent towards the end. Like I didn't have to do much. The place was like on autopilot, you know, for the most part. Like I guess I wasn't challenged as much as I wanted. I always like to just throw myself like in the fire. It's just me. And so I had somebody reach out that I had a relationship with before, and they were like, hey, you want to come run my shop and be the GM? And I was like, damn, I was kind of intimidated because it was like all new shop, all new guys, you know, jumping in there as the boss was like, it was intimidating, but that was like, all right, that's exactly where I want to be. You know, like if it's uncomfortable, I feel like that's where I want to be because that's where the growth is at. So I took it, and I was there for like 4 years and just got burned out. Like I like building things. And it just started to take, obviously as a general manager, like you're not building anything, you're managing people and builds and projects. Yeah. But like in that shop as manufacturing, when you're making, you know, 10,000 pieces for clients, they have to be exactly the same. Like the quality has to be there. Like the quality control is just on a different level. So it started to transition to like, we had a shop tech system that you had to scan every step that you do to work. And
oh, wow.
I just started to lose the passion. Yeah. It was like, if you're in manufacturing, it was gnarly. Tracking down to the second, because you know, you get a build like that, if you touch a part 3 times out of 10,000 parts, that could blow, you know, 5 days of work. You know what I mean? Like once you do the math on little things like that, it gets super granular. So I don't know. I think I just got burned out. I wanted to get back into building things, and my neighbor was in the studios doing something different, like a different union. But he kind of had it in for me if I wanted it. And so I resigned with really like, it's hard to get into the studios. It's not like walk in, you basically got to know somebody. You got to get 30 days within a year to even be qualified. And the 30 days, like a lot of people can't even get 30 days to qualify to get in. So I got super lucky and I got them fast. But nice. I guess long story short, during that downtime, like I resigned my job in December, and I really didn't start working until like September of the following year. So at that time, like I got nothing going on. I was like, my wife had always mentioned buying a glow forge. So I was like, man, let's get a laser, you know, like we had no plan for it. I didn't want to make signs. I didn't think I'd be making signs. It was just like, I kind of know how to run them and I know how to build things. So I just thought, let's just get one and see where it goes. Yeah. And then from there, it's like, everything's just been referrals. It's only Instagram, and it's like, you post one thing, the next customer comes along, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
About like your background though, and like just kind of knowing the laser and being comfortable enough with the laser to be like, you know what, don't get the glow forge, but let's get this because I know what I can do, and I know that it's going to save me so much time. Man, if I would have known that forever ago, I would have been on a soapbox about lasers a long time ago. And even like now, like I had my dad over yesterday, and I've had him I've been showing a few things with him. I'll text him because he's old school woodwork stuff. But yeah, like having him check it out and doing some things with him, it's just like, man, it is so fast. And like what I wish I would have known was just like a lifetime ago, like to invest in one of these, to just because there's so many opportunities to do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, it's unlimited. It's great. It's like as much creativity as you have, you can throw it at it, you know.
So did you always kind of like gravitate towards signs then when you were like doing stuff, or is that just kind of something new?
New, yeah. I think I might have made like 3 signs in my life, you know. Never did it. Even the acrylic. What's funny, everybody's like talking about like, you know, how did you master acrylic? I'm like, I hate acrylic. Like I always, out of all things material wise in the shop, if it was made out of acrylic, I'm like, I'm out of that. Like I don't want to be a part of it. I didn't like it. It's like it scratches easy, it cracks, you know, like there was just too much to go wrong. So when I got the laser, even I felt like I had always seen laser cut wood, everything, but like I didn't find many people doing acrylic. And I just thought, like my first sign, it was actually going to be out of wood, the one that kind of opened up the door for me. And then like last minute, when I just figured out like this isn't going to work, I decided to do acrylic. And then ever since then, I felt like it just kind of caught on, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it stands apart. Like it's what caught my eye. Like you don't see a lot of people building full acrylic signs like that.
No, not even like just to like the quality of your ability to capture like the level of like depth and color and just so much range going on, but it's just so on point. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Like I don't remember, I started following you pretty early on, and yeah, I never questioned the flawless name sign. I was just like, yeah, it's fucking but
yeah, it's like the name is tough because it's like, I mean, nothing's flawless, you know, but I think I always tried to hold myself to just like the highest standard. So like, I don't know how much money I've probably lost in I'll make something and I'll mess it up at the end, or I just don't like it, or it's got a scratch and I'll just scrap it, you know, like it just, I guess, gets at my pride, you know. I
When
always
you were
just
describing your job too, it made sense why you're so OCD about things. You had to be.
right?
For sure. So I don't know, but it's a tough name, you know, because it's like I feel like some people are also like flawless, you know, like this guy thinks he's perfect, and it's not the case. It's just more like, I guess if you broke my name down, it's like my goal is to flaw less, you know. So like I want to be better every day. I want to put out the best that I can. You know, it's just what it is. I know I'm hard on myself. I always have been, but I feel like that also is what brings out, you know, a better version of you. Instead of I just don't like that complacency, that like if I'm comfortable, I feel like I know I'm not in the right spot.
I feel like you're coasting.
So,
yeah.
Yep. And maybe that's what drew me to the acrylic, was like, all right, this is a new challenge. Like I know everything about wood, you know, I feel like I can make wood signs, but acrylic was like, I really don't. I have no idea, you know. So I think it was just a new avenue.
But man, you're doing those layers that you put right on top of, like, it looks just like paper sometimes, like colored printed paper, but it's like what is it? It's transparent vinyl or something?
Yeah, it's just printed vinyl. So like, I guess how that, like I didn't even, the first sign I made was, or not the first sign, but like the first sign I used that technique was DJ's Frenchie's sign. I still can remember it, but I was going to make it out of wood, and I was going to like engrave, like kind of lightly etch where the colors would separate and paint. And then it had like all these shadows and things that I was like, I don't know how I'm going to execute that. Like I'm not the best painter. So then my next plan was going to be, I bought every single color that was in the logo in vinyl, and my wife has a Cricut or whatever, a silhouette or something. And I was going to have her cut out all those colors and like layer them on there. And as we did that, that was one of those late nights where we had all this time and energy into this thing. And I'm just like, why don't we just print it, you know? And that's kind of how that started. Was I printed it. I always had a relationship with a local printer who did large format vinyl prints. And then like, I guess in my head, I just thought like, why not start trying to like layer stuff on top, you know? And it's kind of how it started. I think it grew
You're
from
talking
there.
about the black lines, right? Like when he has like the lines and all
Yeah.
the things. Yeah.
Around all that.
I
on
love
top.
that.
That's sick.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's next
Yeah, so
level.
everything's just, it's just vinyl, and I'm putting clear acrylic over it. So like 16th clear. So it's super thin, but it also, it just makes it pop, or else you'd have like matte vinyl look.
Yeah.
And that also gives me an acrylic kind of base layer to build up off of that. So, but it's super sketchy. Like I always have my wife come help like at the very end, because it's like, all right, I got this 3-foot vinyl that we got to lay down or something, or she'll help me like place those big black the cutouts, like the outline pieces. And it's just like, if we mess this up, this is like 60 hours of work just toasted, you know. So there's really like no coming back from a mess up on one of those.
What kind of glue were you using on that outline, on those black lines? What kind?
Just 3M tape.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you use that stuff. Like I use the 300 SLE or something, but a lot of people use the 468 MP. It's like super thin. I just put it on the sheet on the underside before I laser it, and then just slap it in, laser, and then
pretty much just like a one shot once you get that on, because it's real sticky.
Yep. And so that's the hard, like if you're doing like a 3-foot sign or a 4-foot sign, and it's like one big floppy cutout.
Yeah.
That's where like I always need an extra set of hands to like lay it down. But once it's laid down like a little bit, it's going where it's gonna go. So it's
your wife has got the magic touch then too. She can like kind of feather it, and she knows how to like just drop it like a 1/4 inch above and just move it.
Yeah, I'm probably like yelling at her like a dad, you know, with his son holding the flashlight, like,
yeah.
Lift it up.
She's the secret hero behind Flawless Sign that we didn't know about.
She really is. She really is. I always feel bad to even ask, because I know it's like, it's probably stressing her out, you know, but she's a trooper.
She like braces herself before she enters the garage. Like, all right, I know what I'm in
she'll
for.
hear the door open, like, here we go. He's gonna ask again.
Our you know, it's funny being like the significant other of somebody, you know what I mean? Like my husband has to deal with so much shit from me.
Yeah.
Hey, can you come here for just like 10 minutes? What do you need? Like, you know what I mean?
You know, it's something.
Mm-hmm. It's like I can't reach up there. You know, like it's always something stupid. But we need it. We need those helpers. It's nice that you have that support.
It is cool. It's like there's times where I've actually, like, there's times when she's been gone or doing something, and I'll be like, all right, I got this. Like, I'm gonna lay down. There was one huge vinyl I tried to do by myself and just completely botched it. And it's like those vinyls are like, it could be like $150 a pop. So it's like,
yeah, I can't
it's
even
frustrating.
imagine.
Yeah, and you're peeling it up, and then it's just a mess. So it's like half the time, like, you know better, just ask for help.
I think that's one of the things that intimidates me most about acrylic is like the cost, like, you know what I mean, of how things add up. Just like, you know, I mean, all of our materials are insane, but
I was gonna say, yeah, even wood now. It's like, I just shipped a sign that was that gladiator sign I just posted, but it was gonna go to Texas, or it's going to Texas, and I was gonna build a wood crate, but the sign itself is like 60 pounds, and a wood crate would have been another 60 pounds. And it just felt like too rigid, you know? So then I'm like, well, shit, let me look at Uline for a box. I found this massive artwork shipper box. And I don't know, it's like some of that stuff too, like
it's scary.
Trying to ship. Like I got my fingers crossed, hoping that it makes it to Texas, you know? But,
is that what you ended up getting? Was that Uline box?
yeah, I got a giant box. It's like, I forget the size. It's like 52 by 38 or something like that. Comes with all this foam. It's like a $300 box on Uline. But just hoping that it gets there.
Oh yeah, man. That's
it
so
just
cool.
tells you about his clientele and how much they're willing to pay for one of his pieces, though.
Dude, I have been like diving into like some weird, like rabbit hole of like the bully people, because every once in a while your signs will start coming up, and then I'll start kind of like going through, and I don't realize how many like celebrities, and I don't know, there's it seems to be such a status thing too. So I don't know, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, he hit the right market. Crazy.
Yeah, it's like I didn't even know that it existed, and I think I've told one of you or maybe both of you, but I've quoted like it's got to be like 400 or 500 Frenchie signs, and it's like it just keeps coming, so a lot of people just don't even respond to the price. As soon as you send it, like you'll never hear from them again. That's probably 95%, but it's like every time I post a sign, I probably get another 20 people that ask for a quote, and it's all like kennels, so
yeah, that's cool though, man.
Wild market.
It's a niche for sure, but I don't know, like it seems to be like one that you could definitely grow within too, or like pivot from. I don't know, like there's so many dog people that also are into cars and hot rods and all this other stuff, and the clientele is just like each time you post a sign, it leads to another. So it's a cool community to be having your to have a hold of, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and I think the logos are always cool. Like I like the my style of sign works best like that cartoony kind of vector art, and that's what a lot of those are. Like people send me like realistic photos or things that have like weird shadows, and it's like it's just not. I can make it, but it's not going to have the same feel as the other signs do. Yeah.
Do you pretty much try to keep the creative freedom like in your court, so that like at the end of the day, like if they pitch you an idea, it's still going to have your flow when it leaves your shop?
Yeah. Most people have been like super cool on like even to the point where I want some feedback, and it's like, no, whatever you think looks best. You're the master, So it's like, I appreciate that. I don't know.
Sometimes we do ask questions that we want answers to, just because it kind of like helps you with your drawing or with your inspiration and stuff like that. Like I like to know just a little bit, like give me creative freedom, yes, but also I want to know what your likes are.
Yeah, you don't want to like, okay, here's your sign, and they're like, ooh, like
I
wasn't really into those colors.
Yeah.
So like everyone's been cool though so far, and like the logos come. I wouldn't say like they're not in a form where I can just throw them in the laser. That's one of the longest parts actually, is just making the file. Yeah, all the layers and stuff in Illustrator. Like these files come through and they're just a jumbled mess if you actually like look at the outline in Illustrator. So like on the cover, it looks like a sweet logo, and then when you go behind the scenes, you're like, oh my God. Like, yeah, there's stuff that's taken me like, man, I had a sign that took like 5 full days of just trying to figure out the logo. It's where the computer was crashing. We had to buy a new iMac because like too much processing going on. So it's been fun.
I've had to do the same thing, by the way. My old computer couldn't cut it anymore, and I had to upgrade. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
It won't handle
even the
all
new
this.
one, like
we
got the new iMac, like the best one they had, thinking like this thing's gonna fly. And I remember we plugged it in, it was like not that much better. It's like, damn, these files are just massive then or something. Like I know Illustrator enough to use it, but I really think I haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg. Like I could probably streamline a lot of the file work and like dissecting I do if I just knew how to use it better. So I probably am just struggling through it.
I'll exchange a day of me hang out with you in Illustrator if you hang out with me with the laser. I think it's a great trade.
Let's do it.
That's
a solid trade.
It's a good trade. We'll do that because that'll be fun. Justin, you're welcome to join our date. It's not exclusive. You're invited.
I don't know anything about Illustrator.
I know. If you can learn though.
Yeah, I know. How's your laser stuff going though? You doing anything at all?
Say that again.
Tiff,
he's asking me if I've touched my laser yet. The answer is no.
Come on.
Next week. Our kids keep getting like they're still here. We had COVID for a month here in this house, and it's really taking me down. Yeah. They were supposed to still be in school, and we had to pull them out of school 2 weeks early. So it's been like survival. I don't have the brain cells to figure out a laser, but like next week, that's the goal. It is.
Are you doing your project on that?
Yes, I have all the files designed too. So like I'm stoked. I'm like ready to go now, finally.
Very nice.
Did you get the Thunder too?
No, the Thunder, of course, was after everybody.
You got the
like
boss.
I got the boss, right?
Nice.
But then like literally I had it here for 2 months and all of a sudden it was like thunder madness.
I know everyone's getting Thunders. I'm like, damn, I got left in the dust.
Right? I'm sure if you reached out to them in a second, you'd have another laser in your house.
They'd be so happy.
Mm-hmm.
So happy.
They'll be like, what? You want to come hang out with us?
I wanted the biggest one. So that was like, because I'm making like 4-foot things, 5-foot signs, 6-foot signs. And
how big
this
is
was
yours?
the biggest one I could find. It's the bed that can cut is 40 by 63, I think.
That's nice.
Okay.
But
That's
I saw Trotec post, they have a flatbed and it's like, I think it's like 12 by 10 or something like that. It's something crazy. So I'm like, that's what I need next, even though it wouldn't fit in the garage.
Yeah. I should have got a little bit bigger myself, but I'm going to give myself a full year before I really bitch and complain.
What size is yours?
35, but it looks bigger in person. I'll tell you. I'm sorry.
I went smaller because I wanted to fit in this room. It ends up being a giant laser. I'm like, damn it. I guess I could have went for just a bigger laser, but you know,
Right.
it's tough.
My first one was a 24 by 35. That was the first one I had.
Nice.
I love that machine. Like I kind of miss it. Like I feel like it ran better. Maybe this one's so big that like, I don't know. I think has a hard time like keeping things square and level. And
It's
flat,
probably
like
jostling
over
around
such
a lot
surface.
more because it's going back and forth such a distance.
For sure. I
Yeah.
have little things that are just like a pain. Like if I want to cut something huge, I can't just press go and walk away. Like I have to keep adjusting the focus. There's parts of the bed that are just like
This is
terrible.
why
Like,
I
it's
want to
so
hang out
out
with
of
him.
focus.
You see why I want to do that time exchange? Just to learn all the little kinks and things to look out for. I like to know that shit.
Sure.
Sure.
I learned a little bit about the laser in the last like 2 months or so, and man, I haven't even touched acrylic yet. I cannot wait to touch acrylic.
Yeah. You've been putting in work. I've been seeing your stuff.
Oh
He
man,
has
awesome.
been.
I'm trying to dig myself out of a freaking hole right now of just like getting work done. Since my second baby, I've been playing past the baby and have not had time. And my clients are hella patient, but I'm behind. And so thankfully I've been able to straight up use this thing to just stay busy because I make all my money through my business. Like I don't have any other income. Like I don't have like this is my 9 to 5. I work in this full time.
Yeah.
So when I'm not like finishing a project, which I'm just waiting to like get so many like logistical things done. It's like sometimes each project just is a logistical nightmare. But yeah, the machine, I've been able to like crank out an idea while basically sneaking out into the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
That's amazing. And when I have a solid amount of time out here, it's man, I have a big, huge, like 7-foot sign, and I'm thinking about using the infinity like pass through thing, but there's like all these height issues. I think that I can only actually pass through like 1/2-inch thick material completely all the way through without like
I don't know.
Or setting
Without
it.
hitting.
Yeah, without hitting.
Maybe I think mine's like that too. Like it'll hit the rail.
Yeah, but 1/2-inch is not a lot of play for my sign that I'm trying to like feed through here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like this like 7-foot long Golden Gate Bridge, but I'm gonna get tricky with this thing and I'm gonna like somehow figure it out. But
Yeah, you got it in the bag.
First of all, congrats on the 7-foot long sign order. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Serious.
yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
Is it a local one?
Yeah, it's in San Francisco, so local-ish to me. It's like 45 minutes away.
Nice.
Yeah, this has actually been something that I've been working with for like a year, but actually finally getting down to working on it now. The guy's like super open with the design and stuff. but I spent the last week trying to pitch him ideas, and then he would pitch him to his boss. And so that was a week of that.
Yeah.
In between, I was using the laser to like make other signs. So you saw me on here making Dumb and Dumber signs.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, anybody pay me.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, it has been nice seeing you just make random things though, because we don't often see that from you. You know, usually you're doing a job.
Dude, it's so crazy that I can do like a sign in a day. That's fun.
For sure.
But also,
yeah, I feel like that's when your creativity is kind of coming out too. You know, you're not just swamped with somebody else's logo or project. You know, you're kind of you're forced to be like, what do I want to make? You know,
that's how
yeah. I had the most amazing time making these the other day. I made a Bigfoot sign and a splinter on the same day at the same time, and I'm like, I was like,
that's
you want
rad.
to? Yeah, he's back there. I'll have to show you after. But it's just so nice to be able to pop on something on your CNC, and then I was on the porch carving and just, you know, craning my neck and checking on it every once in a while, making sure nothing dangerous happened. But like, that's the dream, to be able to make something, and like what you say, like you're popping in and out of the house or whatever, like having the right tools
cool.
for you is nice.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's taken a while to get to that, but I didn't think it would be a laser. In fact, I was trying to get a like a CNC carving machine first, and when I got the laser, I was like, ooh, all right, well, I'll see what
different direction. Yeah,
I'll see what this does. And then like freaking got here, and after pretty much having it just for a day, I was like, wow, my whole business model kind of just changed, like kind of
For sure.
a little bit.
Yeah, I was actually curious for you, Brian, like just like with what you're doing, do you ever want to go to like smaller things, like making like acrylic keychains with those logos that you've done, and not doing it so extravagant, which is doing like black and white? Like, are you going to try to ride that wave and start creating smaller projects that are easier, or do you like the bigger ones?
Man, it's like a love-hate, you know, like I like the big signs because obviously they pay better, and that's where like I think I just have more creativity and learn new things, you know, because each sign, like I try to like, oh, this would be cool to do that, and like, okay, I've never done that, you know, so each one has its own, like typically has its own custom element that's kind of risky, where it's like, I've never done this because I want your sign to be original. But I do like, you know, occasionally I'll make something smaller that's just like, it just goes like the little flawless sign I made. I made in like 30 minutes, you know, and I'm like, damn, I kind of miss those days, because like some of these projects will take me like 3 weeks or a month.
Yep.
And I don't know, my brain just kind of gets like, you start to, I don't want to say burned out on it, but like if I take too long of a pause on a huge project, it's just hard for me to like get it back going again. Like I just lose the enthusiasm as it's, because I think I sit there and I think of how much work it needs. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, sure.
It's the
like,
delaying gratification is hard too.
Yeah. But when like you finish it, it's like, oh man, like it comes back again for me. But I do want to explore, like I have ideas in my phone or just in notes of like kind of like my own products or designs, you know, that I could sell on a site and not be so bound to like just custom work, you know. But I just literally haven't had a moment to breathe, you know. I've been trying to A, raise prices, and B, longer lead times, because I feel like in the beginning I kind of intentionally lowered my prices. Like I was nearly breaking even in the beginning, just to start to get some stuff. Yeah. And then like there was a wave that hit that was just like overwhelming, and I'm like, okay, I need to seriously like stop taking orders now and start raising prices. And then like what I thought was crazy was a 3-month lead time at the time. And then I remember, I think I went on your page, Justin, you're like, you had like 6 months. And I was like, damn, like I need to step my game up on the lead time.
And that took me, like it's still taking me until now, like with this machine, to realize what my lead time is. And it's just, when it comes to the commission work and all the custom builds, like those are realistically still like a 6-month sort of lead time, just because logistics are so crazy. Like I only have in the middle of the day, like 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 2:30, it's like 20 hours a week to like get some big work done.
Right.
And then I have the babies and stuff. So it's like I've done this thing where I've kind of have like the commission side where it's the bigger projects, and I have my smaller stuff, and I'm just trying to find that balance of like, yeah, what's the lead time? And yeah,
do you feel like you miss out on a lot of business where people are turned off by like, because I was even at like, I've had so many people at even like 2 months that they're like, it's too long for me, you know? No thanks.
I think that I've heard this a lot, and I get this a lot, and it's like they're not the right client for you, pretty much. It's like if they're not willing to wait.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like Burn for, what's his name? Forget.
353.
353. Yeah, man. He has a very long lead time, about a month or a year, 6 months to, I think it's a year.
Damn.
But
Even
it's
better.
like very normalized. Like, no, man, like I got a lot of orders. These take time. They're all hand done. It's like I've made.
He's awesome. I love him.
He is. But I've like done so many freaking time cards for myself that when I was doing everything in the beginning and like underpaying myself and just barely breaking even, man, it was all because like everything was hand chopped with scroll saw, and there was a lot of pride in that. And then slowly I started building up my prices within that, understanding like where the value was in like the hand cut stuff. But man, just going full circle with the laser and the time that it takes ultimately to do a sign, like even with this still cutting out like the letters and whatever, because I still use the scroll saw for some shit, but ultimately again, it still takes 13 to 15 hours. It doesn't take 30 hours, but like you start justifying your numbers.
It's only getting one of your steps removed. You still have all the other steps. Yeah.
But I think that when you have a project that takes 30, 40 hours, and it's because, and it might be a small sign, and it's because like it's all hand cut or all hand carved, and then you go to sell it, potentially like you go through that whole thing where it's like, well, what's the market value? What is this worth? There's so many things you go through, and there's lots of other variables too, like what the project actually is.
Right, for sure.
What it's all about. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like, what's 30 to 40 hours? It's like you do that thing yourself. You're like, you undervalue yourself right then and there. You're like, well, I don't know if it's worth that much, but anyway, that's the constant battle with, I guess, all of us makers is.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, finding your value, and then I think it just takes a lot of engagement and a lot of clients, if you're lucky, to like bounce off you and say, hey, how much? And you get to pitch it. I've been lucky to have like a couple videos go viral and then like get a flux of people, and 95 of them or 95% of them said no, you know? So it's like,
I was gonna say the same thing, by the way. I get 95% no's too.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I feel better now.
Yep. No, I was gonna share that with you too. Like I've had the Ninja Turtle, these right here behind me, go viral on TikTok. Literally 40, 50, 60 people asking me, and like one person bought it.
Yeah.
He bought 6 of them. Thank you very much, sir. But like,
nice.
you know what I mean? Like
But
one person pulled the trigger.
Yeah, but that one person though still is probably a small example of how many actually would buy it, because
if they saw it,
But I think like it's also such a cool, true connection to someone. I think it's cool. Like if even if it's super rare, if somebody says yes to your stuff, it's like, I love my clients. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know. I never wanted to be pumping out, $300 signs for the masses, so I feel like I kind of think I'm settling into the price. I feel like, in my opinion, when I calculate, like you said, how many hours I put into it, and then like I think of like those aren't just real like hours. Like I'm losing out on time with my family, and I'm doing this after work. I'm sacrificing the weekend. Not that that matters to anybody else, but in my head, I'm like,
it matters to you. The price is higher than you would charge for something else.
And then
and you're allowed to do that. That's your price.
spent $800 on material on the sign. Like it's already, I feel like people expect the sign's going to be cheaper than the actual raw materials cost to be. And I'm like, I know that. So I feel like years ago, I tried to start selling custom furniture, like hardwood, like tables. So I was doing like hardwood tops, walnut or oak, and then like a welded steel base with like patina, kind of when all that stuff was picking up. And I remember like, man, I spent like 3 weeks on this table. It was like 8-quarter walnut, like the frame was badass. And I went on Etsy. I'm like, I'm going to make an Etsy. I'm going to sell it. And then I saw like similar tables were like $150. I was like, all right, maybe not, you know. And I had a couple people offer like exactly that. Like, I'll give you 200. I'm like, man, this is going to be a tough. That's when I felt like custom furniture wasn't for me. I mean, and I probably just didn't find the right customers right off the bat. I think I got bombarded by
there's
all
that everywhere
the
though
low
too,
ballers,
though, because there are a lot of people, especially like on Facebook Marketplace, that do this for fun, and then they charge like nothing, and you're just like, so then people think that's the price that they should be paying, but they want your work. You know, it's a tough thing.
I guess it goes both ways, because I'll scroll on Etsy occasionally and I'm like, there's a table for 30 grand. I'm like, damn, like right on, you know, like.
I feel like the market is kind of picking up though, in a sense, for some makers putting themselves out there.
Yeah.
This full time. Maybe it's just because of like post-COVID stuff. We're actually seeing people doing it full time. So like, no, man, this is what it's worth.
Yeah.
You gotta charge it now. And now the neighbors know how much it's worth, so their neighbors are charging that much too, because they know how to pour epoxy river tables or whatever it is.
100%.
No, it's definitely funny how the market gets super saturated with Facebook Marketplace, because man, I deal with everybody in between, and it's like even the guys who sell like raw material, like just slabs and stuff. Like the market for that's kind of funny too.
Yeah. These tiki bowls, I spent $1 on them. They're now $5 more. You know, like just those kind of things. It's 5 times more expensive what I was getting charged, you know, a year ago 2 years ago.
They're $1 a board.
They were.
That's crazy.
They were. They're not even available anymore.
What kind of wood is that?
I have to actually call the local electric company. I guess they're the inner spools of the electrical wire, like big giant spools. They're the innards, so that's why they're curved.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but of course I make something cool. Somebody wants to buy them, and I'm like, oh sir, I don't have enough wood for you. I'm like, yours are gonna have to be on cedar unless you're willing to wait for a little while, because I literally have a wood guy searching for them right now. And then I also asked somebody that works at the company to see if they get me any, but I'm just like,
dude,
there's got to be somebody sitting on a whole.
I gotta put it out there. You know? Yeah.
Careful, man. You're gonna get some crazy amount. I'm staring at my like 500 cassette tapes that I don't know when I'll ever use, but I got so many cassette tapes.
I should just do a little looking for post and just see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that from that? You did a Mac Miller sign, right? It had all the tapes.
That was from Mac. Dude, it was so funny though, because I went on Facebook, or I was on Instagram. No, I did it on Instagram. I said on Instagram I was looking for him, and if anybody knew the connection, or if anybody in the neighborhood had anything, I might have actually got on my Facebook and said, hey, I'm looking for cassette tapes. I'm working on an art project.
Yeah.
My buddy's mom, she's just that mom. She's so freaking nice. She went right out. She like, my son's friend's working on an art project. She meant to send it to her neighborhood, but she ended up sending it to like a big, huge circle. And yeah, so I got so many cassette tapes. And she's loved, like this lady is loved in the neighborhood. So they're like, we got you. Come over. I'll give you my whole collection. Some people.
That's right.
Yeah.
Some had to be hard to spray paint if there's something that you really like.
You gotta let it go, man. But
damn, Backstreet Boys.
I was thinking Backstreet. Well, not Backstreet Boy. I was thinking Blackstreet. Like that was like one of my original. Blackstreet was one of my original purchases for a mixtape or like tapes. Yeah.
Wow.
Those were the
I'm
days.
old, bro. I'm old.
Hey,
how old are you?
40.
38.
38. Okay.
We're in the realm.
Justin's young.
36.
Oh, you're not that young. I
36.
thought you were
Well,
younger.
my brother was 38, and we grew up in the same room, bunk beds, and we had crisscross posters. And I don't know if he had a Boyz II Men or a Blackstreet poster. I honestly think my brother had a Blackstreet poster.
Then your brother knew what was up, man. That was
Dude,
a good album.
So cool. He still has so much better taste in music, but back in the day, my brother would listen to some like hardcore shit. And I was
the good days.
Yeah.
You know, I'm totally playing Blackstreet tomorrow just because I have to.
You could dub it a little bit into your stories.
Right?
Throw it on my next reel.
I say I haven't heard it in forever, so it would be really fun. I was like such a Jodeci, just fiending those songs. Girl, you got me feeling. You know, that was the best. It's good stuff. So I know we don't have too much longer with you. Where do you want this to go? I just like to ask that question because we want to know.
Business?
Yeah. Do you want to go full time with this, or do you like it being a side thing? There's nothing wrong with that too, by the way.
It's I don't know. I do enjoy my job right now, and it's
a cool job.
It's actually
it's a cool job.
Man. You got I feel like that's a dream job for me at one point.
Right?
Yeah. It's cool.
But in theater or drama class thinking I'd rather build the sets.
Yeah. It pays good. I got the best benefits. Things are good. They take care of you.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah. You get food every day. We get catering and Jersey Mike's every day and all the little things. But
dude, I want to come work with them, right?
Yeah, I think everybody would rather work for themselves. I don't really want to answer to anybody. So for sure, but living in California, man, it's
yeah,
I gotta sell a lot of signs. I don't know, you know how it feels. You're up north, but it's if you're not making $250K out here, you're not really eating food. It's
I know,
crazy.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
No,
so I feel like I had I had a dream where if I could move somewhere else and just I could sell this place, I could buy a house for half. It could
that
have
was
a
my
huge
question.
Shop
that was
or
be the
garage.
Next question.
That would be cool. But at the same time, I feel like so many people, the most popular question I get asked is, where do you get your acrylic? And it's I'm sitting on a landmine of acrylic distributors out here. I could go pick who I want to buy acrylic from, 6 different places that's within 30 minutes. And I just go pick up 4x8 sheets and I come home and rip them up,
Yeah.
So I feel if I did move,
would
I be in that boat again where I'm I don't know, could I even survive doing that? And I don't know, I never thought I'd make signs. So there's way more. I'm just making signs for people's garages and bedrooms right now. I haven't really even touched the sign market. And do I want to make exterior signs? Do I want to go down that path and be a big sign shop?
Curious.
I don't know. I feel like I do, but I kind of want to make it more. I don't want to be Signs Are Us. I always, if I could keep it as signs, but with a twist of art where they're a little bit different and you can't buy it anywhere, because I still haven't seen many people making sure, people make acrylic signs that are just stacked and layered, but the signs that have the vinyls and the different layers, I personally haven't seen anybody else doing it.
I don't either.
So I don't know, I kind of feel like I unlocked a little something there that I have ideas to expand on it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe if I just start getting different clientele, as you grow, one person can change your whole life. You meet one person, it's boom, opens up a door. So
yeah,
I think it would be a goal of mine, but I'm not pushing it. I'm not I don't want to get trapped in the just
needing it,
trying to grow it. Yeah, exactly. Even
Yeah.
on Instagram,
You
I'm
want to be the general manager of Flawless Sign Company, just specking things one day.
Exactly.
What has happened?
all these
Start
flaws.
over.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like he could, if he wanted to, build up any business because of the background that you've had. You've had your hands in a little bit of every role, it sounds like, when it comes to business. So yeah, you could, but
maybe.
why do you need to either though? Like, why not just have
Yeah.
it something that you enjoy doing? I am curious though, like, is there going to be a time where you do say no more bulldog signs and you do pivot? Because you're gonna, I like, are you gonna burn out? I don't know, because you're so creative with each one. So
I got a sign that's a weed dispensary coming up. He
there you
bought
go.
two, and they're huge, like two giant big signs. One of them's like one of those big light boxes like I've been doing. Another one's like a 6-foot character. So I'm like, damn, maybe this will lead into like, you know, the marijuana kind of realm, or I don't know. You know how it is. Like you do a barbershop and you just get hit up by barbershops. You know,
any and every industry wants you, man. Like,
no, exactly. No, seriously, if you get to the
it's
cannabis market, people are going to be competing now for your signs, you know?
I was showing my dad your Golden Gate, the one that you have pinned.
yeah,
Dude, how thick it is. I love your process and how you stack that. Is it 3/4?
MDF. Yeah.
It's amazing, man. It
Yeah.
really is.
Thank you.
As long as it makes sense to you at the end of the day to be making it, you know, as long as it's priced okay for you. I think that no matter what you make, as long as it stays within your bubble of like, you know, not specking things out like crazy and just enjoying it for yourself. But I think it'd be so sick to see you do outdoor or whatever, like just kind of expand and try things that you want to try. But yeah, dude,
It is hard though for him. I can't imagine, because you, like you said earlier, he's hit such a different style of sign that when he deviates from it, then that style of sign just goes bye-bye, because nobody else is doing it too.
He's got so much skills with like fabrication that he can probably take the same idea, like the Golden Gate,
to something else.
Frame and like make it an exterior sign where all of us clubs are gonna be like, what do you what's your top coat on that? You know, like, where you're just like, nah, man, I got different material, you don't even know about it.
Yeah.
But
we'll see. I don't know. It's for now. Yeah, I'm having fun. I definitely have been feeling the burnout. Like I've been trying to like intentionally like tell people longer, just like I'm really bad at it. Like I just say yes to everything. Like, I just keep taking shit in, and I need to get better at saying no. But that's always been me. Like I want to do it. You know, I want the challenge, but
It can be very stressful taking customs.
Yeah,
it can be very stressful.
I lose like the creativity and like the inspiration, and like I don't even want to post. Like I'll kind of disappear for a while. Or, like this last time, and like I feel a little bombarded. I feel like clients, they're not bugging me, you know, but I know they're like, you know, where's my shit?
You feel the pressure,
and it's like, just you feel that pressure, and then obviously whenever you're in that kind of bubble, everything else exterior in your life starts happening just to make it worse. Like when it rains, it pours, you know. Whenever I get that overwhelmed is usually when work's like, yo, we got to work 16-hour days, 7 days a week to get this job done. It's like, okay, here we go.
Because then you want to balance your life at home. You have a kid, and then you have clients. I understand that.
So, I mean, taking a note, you know, from you guys, like telling people longer, giving myself more time. I would rather, you know, get the sign done early and have them be happy than always being a month late. Like, shit, my bad.
Yeah. It's tough though, man, because life happens and you got a 3-year-old. So it's like, man, all of a sudden, or like Tiff, you just were out for a month.
A whole month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
We kind of had that happen too. And it's just like, I've had a client who's been on board with me for a while, and between like 2 separate occasions with COVID and a babysitter going on a vacation, it's just like, I'm like 2 months behind with her certain things. So, but it's just as a small business owner, you don't realize that those days just add up, and you're going to take time off and family, and you're just not going to be able to get to some stuff. And at the end of the day, you got to be able to say like, that's okay. And ultimately your clients are probably going to say that's okay too.
Yeah.
It just,
and they do. I've always
Yeah,
I've always tried to be good at just communicating it up front, you know, like,
hey, you know, it's that right here where you're just like, fuck, I need to get that done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though they're like, it's cool, in my head, I'm like, that's not cool, you know. You told them X, like, you got to get it to them, you know, like, it's just eating me the whole time.
Just the fact if somebody reaches out to me and that they had that feeling like they had to reach out to me because they were curious, that's what hurts, because you're just like, oh no, I'm thinking of you, I promise, I am thinking of you all day long. I'm thinking of you. But yeah, You get that, and you're just like, But
and the feeling of like you post a story, and like the next people in line that you're late on are like they're the first ones to like it, and it's like it just sends that message of like
I'm watching you.
I'm like in between projects I'm working on. Like I do them in order. I don't show it, but like there's a list, and I pretty much all done in order. I do slowly skip ahead if it's like I got
an
two,
easy one.
3. I have one that's like off site, and that's like, yeah, I got an easy one, so I was kind of squeeze it in.
Yeah.
But I've been close to almost putting it on my website, showing it, saying this is what it is, and also being like super transparent in the fact like I'm building my business, and if I have opportunities to like add things to my market, I'm going to take those, but I'm still doing your projects in a row. Yeah, and I might have little things that I squeeze in to build. I
like that.
Well, I know you, like you said too, is like people see you doing something else on, like they know that's not on your list though, and then they start reaching out to you.
No, I guarantee I got a good handful of my clients just thinking, what the freak is this guy doing?
Yeah.
But you know what? I like at the end of the day, I got my own anxieties and my own little depressions or whatever you want to call it. And it's like I need to freaking get the wiggles out, and I need to make something that's just. I need to organize all my drill bits. I need to drill like 300 holes, I'm going to organize all my bits because I've been staring at it for 2 years. And if I get that, then I can move on.
Yeah.
But it's like Instagram's so sick in the sense that like I get to watch all you guys do your thing and see your shops and see how you organize your paints and see how you organize your tools and how everyone has got their French cleat or their peg.
Oh my God, they do.
It's like, dude, I'm just like, ever since I got the Thunder in here, I had to get rid of my old miter saw station. I gave that away because I didn't have space for it. And I got rid of something else, but I had to like change the feng shui of the shop. And I was like, but then I got it. And
that's huge.
My operation kind of changed. And I was just like, dude, I need to be more organized. So I spent a lot of time organizing the shop and just dialing that in.
Yeah, you were primarily working at a different shop too, though, for a while. So you weren't using your home shop as much as you are now.
I can't remember when it happened. I think it was July of last year. My buddy over there started making epoxy tables, like river tables or whatever, something like that. But they had like 10 tables going at once, and the whole place was filled with epoxy. So I couldn't do anything there really.
Yeah.
So I started working from home, and I prefer that. Actually, I didn't know that, but I actually just prefer coming outside and wearing flip-flops all day and wearing shorts because it's hot. Yeah,
whatever you want.
Yeah, and but slowly but surely, just getting the shop to be functional and using the tools that I need and putting shit on the pegboard that
I know. I have to get rid of some tools I don't use, but then it's like, but what if I need the drill press?
I don't know. You can't get rid of tools.
I know. I got to put them on wheels. That's what it is. Everything needs wheels so I can just move it out of the way.
Yeah. Like Ryan needs a few more pneumatic nail guns.
Definitely not enough there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And he needs a little bit more propane too while he's there, just a few more cans.
Such are probably evaporated by now.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. Like, it was a good time and super nice getting to know you more. Like, I know we talk here and there, but I kind of like got a sense who you were. And you definitely are that person, just someone who's just like, attentive, knows what they're doing. Like you're following a job all the way through, but I had no idea what your history was. So it's really cool to know what you do now for a living.
Yeah, it looks like that at least, but I'm just winging it. That's all I do over here.
You're winging it with experience though.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And Justin, thanks for taking an hour from baby number 2.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Serious.
I prepped him this morning. I reminded my wife like twice, but I told her like 7 a.m. I was like 5 o'clock, I'm going to be gone for an hour. So,
yeah.
Right now she's looking at her watch.
Exactly. She's like, they are going over 8 minutes right now. Last time he went over a whole hour and a half, I think. So,
bro, I did not ever not live that down. Yeah.
Yep. I kept warning him. I'm like, your wife's going to be pissed, but we were having such a good time. It's hard.
When we all hang out one of these days, you guys are gonna laugh about that because that was hella funny.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. All right,
I'll see your posting tomorrow. I'll know what happened to you.
Yeah, right. All right. Good night, guys. Enjoy
Night,
your
guys.
dinner.
Yeah, good.
Bye.
All right, I hope you enjoyed getting to know Brian and hanging out with Justin again. I loved these guys. They were awesome, and it was really nice to have somebody else who admired him as much as I do to be on the show to talk about his art and to learn about who he is, what he does, and how he got here. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, if you would like to support it, it is patreon.com/makerconversations. And until next week, I hope you guys have a great day. I have Joni and I have Made by Mary Lou on the show next week. So stay tuned and check that out. Have a great one.